class, we will be discussing now your epidemiology. So for epidemiology, okay, our learning outcomes are as follows. So explain the definition of epidemiology as applied in public health. Okay, provide the different use of information generated by epidemiologic method. Enumerate and discuss the core epidemiologic function. Okay, differentiate between descriptive and analytic epidemiology. Describe 5 components of descriptive epidemiology. Discuss the type of observational studies and illustrate and discuss components of epidemiologic triad. So at the end of this lecture, you are supposed to complete these learning outcomes. And let's start with epidemiology. So for epidemiology, this came from a Greek word, okay, epi, demos, and logos. So we do have 3 terms, okay, 3 terms of your epidemiology. So what are those? So epi meanings upon, okay, upon. Demos meaning people, and logos meaning study. So in Greek word, okay, it is upon people study. So you are studying the people, okay? So you are checking what is happening to the people in a community or in your community. So the core definition as to the CDC or Center for Disease Control, epidemiology is the study of the distribution and determinants. Okay? So dalawa yung terms natin dyan. Distribution and determinants of health-related states or events in specified population, and the application of this study to control health problems. So in the core definition of your epidemiology, we do have 2 terms or 3 terms that are already highlighted on the statement. So first is distribution. Okay, what is the distribution, or how many were affected by this kind of disease? Okay, the determinants, what are the diseases affecting the community? So yun. For the distribution, you are checking for the numbers. Okay, for the numbers. Okay, numbers and people. Sino ba yung naapektuhan? Ilan ba yung naapektuhan? Determinants. How are they affected? Okay, how? Paano sila naapektuhan? Ano yung nakaapekto sa kanila? Okay, and the application of what? Of these numbers, of this information as to how you will solve it in the future. Paano mo siya gagamitin in the studies? Okay? Paano mo siya i-apply in the future problems of the community? O paano ba natin malilesen yung number ng ganitong sakit? Okay? Paano ba natin maiiwasan yung makakuha? For example, nowadays, the leptospirosis. Okay? How will you lessen the number of leptospirosis during the flooding? Okay? What are our strategies on how we will contain? Okay? Kaya meron tayong mga prophylaxis na tinatawag, meron tayong surveillance na tinatawag, and so on. So that is your epidemiology. So what are the key terms to know that you should know in epidemiology? So first is incidence. So when you say incidence, this is the number of new cases in a population over a time period. So meaning you are checking how many cases are new. New, ha? Pag pinag-uusapan natin, incidence is new cases in a population. So for example, we are talking about now the leptospirosis. Oh, ilan ba ang incidence ng leptospirosis this month? Okay? This month. Kasi ano pinag-usapan natin? The current status or the new cases of leptospirosis during July. Okay, the month of July. So yun. New cases ang pinag-uusapan natin. When we say prevalence or prevalence, total number. So meaning, kahit yung mga lumang kaso, kasama. Okay, kasama. When we say prevalence, kasama ang old cases. So when we say cases of leptospirosis in year 2025. or in year 2024. So mula January up to the current period. Kasama yon. Okay, so the old and the new. So ang prevalence natin is old plus new. Okay? When we say morbidity, that is state of being deceased. So ibig sabihin, those who are already affected. So meron ng sakit, positive. Okay, positive sila dun sa sakit na yon. So when we say morbidity, positive ka na dun sa sakit. So for example, we do have weekly morbidity. We are checking how many cases are reported, okay, on that area. Even if it's suspect, confirmed case, okay, kasama yon kasi morbidity. Lahat ng tinest mo for that specific kind of disease ay kasama. So kahit nag-negative or ongoing ang testing, kasama siya sa morbidity. When we say mortality now, okay, the mortality is the death. Okay? The death. Meaning, death related to your cases. Okay? So for example, cases of lepto, how many morbidity? How many morbidity do we have in month of July? So for example, morbidity ang pinag-usapan. Ilan yung kaso? Pag sinabi na, how many mortalities do we have for leptospirosis? Ilan yung namatay na positive or suspect for leptospirosis? Yun. Okay? So morbidity is sakit. Okay? Disease. Mortality is death. Ito naman yung disease na C. Okay? Yung isa natin kanina, disease is S. Ito ay C. Patay na. Okay, surveillance. Ongoing collection, analysis, interpretation. So, tatlong terms. Collection, analysis, and interpretation of health data. So, in surveillance, we collect the data. Ilan ba ang meron ng sakit na to? Ilan ba yung nakuha natin na tao na may ganitong sakit? Okay? Collection. You are collecting. Saan ba? Saan ba madami yung ganitong kaso? Anong month? Anong week? Anong araw? Anong oras? Yun yung mga pinag-uusapan doon. Pag collection. When we say analysis, you are now using your collected data into your study. Okay? You are analyzing. Okay. Nakita natin ang daming nagkaroon ng leptospirosis in the month of July. Okay? Nandaming leptospirosis in the month of July. Ang daming dengue in the month of June. Okay? And then, you will use that analysis into interpretation. How you will interpret? Okay, bakit kaya ang daming cases ng dengue nung June at ang daming cases ng lepto ng July? Ano bang meron? Ano bang nangyari? So, you will now check other references, what happened, anong event ang nangyari, bakit nag-increase yung cases natin. For example, in July, nagkaroon tayo ng madaming flooding. You will relate that as to the cases of leptospirosis. Kasi nga, saan ba natin nakuha ang leptospirosis? In infected flood. Okay? Urine of a rat or rodent na infected with leptospirosis na nag-urinate sa flood. Okay, you do have an open wound. Okay, may sugat ka, nakuha mo doon. So, i-interpret mo yon. Bakit significant yung flooding when we have leptospirosis? Or in June, sabi natin, madami yung dengue. Anong meron? Bakit madami yung dengue during that period? Baka kasi nag-uulan. Madaming naiipong tubig sa mga iba't ibang lugar. So, dumami yung lamok. Okay, dumami yung mosquitoes that are usually the cause of or the vector or the vehicle of your dengue virus. That's how you interpret the health data you collected and you analyzed. Okay? So, yun. So, in surveillance, you have three specific function. You collect the data, you analyze the data, and you interpret the data. Okay? Next, outbreak investigation. Okay, identifying source. Okay, the source, control, and prevention. Anong ginagawa? This is incorporated also in surveillance. Okay? You are identifying the source. Saan ba nagmula? Kailan ba nagsimula? Okay? You are checking. Okay, meron dito sa barangay A, nagkaroon tayo ng 3 cases of measles. Ito naman, pang sample naman. Of measles. Okay, may measles dun sa barangay A. Pero, upon checking, nag-contact trace tayo, nakuha pala ni barangay A kasi nakipaglaro yung bata kay barangay B, na 10 naman ang cases doon. Okay. So you are identifying the source. That is how contact tracing works. Okay? Then, anong gagawin mo ngayon? Now you control. So kung meron lang si barangay A at B, okay, ng measles, ayaw mo siyang kumalat kay barangay C and D. So how you will do it? Okay, you will control. Anong gagawin natin for measles? So syempre, magagamutan tayo, supportive treatment. The important thing is you isolate. Okay, you will isolate. So i-isolate natin yung mga positive cases. Okay, para hindi na sila makapanghawa. And yung mga nakalaro nila, negative pa or wala pang manifestation, you also isolate. That's how you control. Okay? Paano mo naman ipe-prevent? So in the prevention, okay, vaccination. So we do have vaccines for measles. Okay? So yun naman yun. Before the occurrence of a disease, so yung mga wala pang measles manifestation kay barangay A at B, kasama na si C at D, bibigyan mo na ng bakuna para hindi na sila makahawa. Okay? So that is your outbreak investigation, which is incorporated to your surveillance. Okay? So those are the key terms in epidemiology. Okay? So, what are the key concepts in epidemiology? So, we do have this few key concepts in epidemiology. We do have the study, distribution, okay, determinants or the risk factors, health-related states or events, specified population, and application. So, let's go first to your study. Okay? On the study, a scientific discipline grounded in data collection, analysis, and interpretation. So, ano yung kanina sa atin, sa key terms sa epidemiology? We do have that as your surveillance. Okay? Kasi yung meron din tayong collection meron din tayong analysis, at meron din tayong interpretation. So, surveillance is a type of study. Okay? Methods draw from biostatistics and informatics. When we say biostatistics, you employ analysis of your numbers. Okay? Significant ba siya? Hindi ba siya significant? Tama ba yung number? Okay ba yung number na ito? Okay? And informatics. Okay, how will you use those numbers? To inform the public, to know who will be the possible infected individuals soon. Yung mga ganyan. Okay? Others, methods. You do have the biology. Paano ba siya kumakalat? Okay? The behavioral science. Ano bang population ang usually na-affect nito? Yung nag-hand hygiene ba? Yung hindi ba nag-hand hygiene? Yung malinis ba sa katawan? Yung nakatira ba sa ganito? Yung nakatira ba sa ganyan? Okay? Economics. Okay? The life status, saan ba siya nakatira? Okay, ano ba yung usual kinakain niya? Okay, social science, okay, including the economics. So, sino-sino ba yung kahalubilo niya? Kailan ba siya nagpupunta sa ganitong lugar? Paano siya nakapunta sa ganitong lugar? Okay? And epidemiology is the basic science of public health. Okay? Public health is data-driven. That's why epidemiology is a very important factor in public health, because it provides foundation, okay, as to the decisions and actions by the use of your numbers, your data, and the interpretations that you will be utilizing in decision making. Okay? Kasi hindi pwedeng basta, okay, gusto mag-declare tayo ng pandemic. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Dapat, you do have the numbers. Okay ba? Sobra na ba yung numbers na to? Tama na ba yung numbers na to para mag-declare tayo ng epidemic or pandemic? Okay? That's why epidemiology is very important in your public health. Okay. As a distribution, we do have the frequency, the raw count. Example for this are number of measles cases. So, pag sinabi nating frequency, gano'n lang kadami? Okay? Gano'n lang kadami? Wala pa tayong interpretation, wala pa tayong analysis. Ilan lang? Binilang mo lang. Okay? Binilang mo lang. Oh, sa barangay A, 10. Sa barangay B, 5. Sa barangay C, 3. Ganun lang ang frequency. Okay? So, ano pa check mo dyan? Okay. Patterns such as health events categorized by time. Oh, 10 during this period of time. Okay? Kailan? Nung July. Naging 3 na lang on August. Pero kay barangay C naman. Okay? Bakit? Kasi next you will check is your place. Okay? For the place. So, saan ba siya? Common. Kay barangay A na rural area. Kay barangay C na urban. Mga ganon. Person. Okay, you have categories such as age, gender, SES, occupation and behavior. Social economic status yung SES. Okay? Sa age, sino ba yung common na naapektuhan ng measles? Bata ba? Matanda ba? Infant ba? Children ba? Toddlers ba? Okay. Gender, babae ba? Lalaki ba? Okay. SES, saan ba nakatira yan? O, ano bang trabaho niyan sa occupation and behavior? Ano bang practice niyan sa bahay? Naliligo ba yan? Di ba yung naliligo? Ano kinakain yan? So, yan. That's how you check for distribution. In distribution, you do have a lot of factors. Okay? Determinants. So, these are the risk factors. Okay? Any event, condition, or characteristic that changes the health status. Okay. Paano mo nasabing it will change? Okay. Event, condition, and characteristic. So, it is already highlighted. Event. For example, in flooding. In flooding or in rainy season. Yan. Okay. Anong usually nangyayari sa mga tao? Common ang flu. Why? Because of the cold temperature. Okay. Condition. Oh, for example, the patient already had CKD, chronic kidney disease. Mas madali ba siya ma-infect? Mas madali ba siya magkaroon ng ganitong sakit? Diba? Kasi meron siyang specific na condition affecting his health status. Okay? Characteristic. Ano bang characteristic nito? Babae ba to? Lalaki ba to? Okay? Ilang taon ba to? Saan ba ito nakatira? So, those are factors. So, other examples are smoking. Oh, that's an event or a condition. Unprotected sex, that's an event. Poor sanitation, that's a condition. Air pollution, that's a characteristic or event. And genetic traits. Okay? Ito are all related into how you are getting the disease. Okay? Kaya nga chine-check, saan ba common tong sakit na to? Kanino common tong sakit na to? Sa babae ba? Sa lalaki ba? Ilang taon ba ang usually naapektuhan? Okay? Analytics. Epidemiology, ask why and how. So, bakit at paano? Okay? It compares exposed versus unexposed group. Yan, syempre, during the contact tracing in epidemiology, you will know who are exposed and non-exposed. O, bakit ka na-expose? Paano ka na-expose? You had the question. Why and how? Okay? Identifies association or causal links. Yan. Diyan na natin makikita yon sa contact tracing or sa epidemiology. Okay, bakit ka nagkasakit? Kasi po, I had contact with this person. And this person pala, already had the sakit or the disease. Okay, you are checking sino-sino pa ba yung naging contact niya. Okay, so those are your determinants or risk factors. Next, we do have health-related states or event. So, anong meron dito? Okay? Initially focused on infectious diseases. Okay? Now includes chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, injuries, birth defects, mental health, occupational and environmental exposure, even genetic conditions. So, ano ba yung health-related states or events? So, for example, in infectious diseases, leptospirosis is one of common infectious disease that we know. Paano ba siya nakukuha? Okay, may related event ba dito? Of course, we do have the flooding. Okay, for example, dengue. Anong meron usually? Usually maulan. For PTB, anong usually meron? Meron na sa loob ng bahay. Kaya ka nagkaroon. Kaya meron kang kasama lagi na may PTB. Ano pa? HIV, the common one, na communicable disease or infectious disease, HIV. Okay? Ano nangyari? You had unprotected sex or unprotected intercourse. Okay? Other naman, chronic diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. Ano yung related events? Ito ba ay kain ng kain? Mataba ba? Obese ba siya? Okay? Okay, kasi that's one factor. Okay, that's one health-related state. Sa family ba? Common ba sa kanila yung diabetes? Meron ba yung nanay niya? Meron ba yung tatay niyang heart condition? O makamaman meron pa sa kanila na mana niya. Okay? Also, that's the genetics. Okay? Injuries, birth defects, yan. Common. Related to genetic conditions. Okay? Mental health. Baka naman sa environment. O sa trabaho. Nakuha niya. For example, us, medical technologists, medical laboratory scientists, you are usually exposed to various infectious agents, specifically blood. Okay? Of course, that's a risk factor. That's a health-related event. Okay? So, yan. Next is specified population. For example, clinician. Okay? The patient of the clinician or the specified population for a clinician is a patient. And his patient is an individual. So, one. Ang isang clinician, may isang pasyente. Tao yun. Okay? Yun. Pag epidemiologist ka, ano ang pasyente mo? Buong community. Okay? So, for example, a physician, doktor. Okay, doktor siya. O cardiologist, for example. Ang pasyente niya, isang tao. Okay? Tao-tao. Individual yon. Iba-ibang sakit ng iba't ibang tao. Pero ang epidemiologist, i-check niya yung buong community. Ano bang sakit nitong community na to? Paano ba ito nagkakaroon ng ganitong sakit? Okay? So, the focus, usually, cause, exposure, risk group, and prevention. Okay? Ano ba yung pinagmulan ng sakit? Bakit ba nagkaroon ng ganitong sakit? Saan siya na-expose? Okay? Ano yung usual na exposure niya? Baka naman araw-araw smoker ito. Okay? Or baka naman araw-araw nakikipag-intercourse ito ng unprotected sa iba't ibang tao. O baka naman ito pala ay isang medtech, isang nurse, isang health worker na exposed lagi sa needles, sa blood. Okay? O risk group. Ito pala ay matanda, geriatric pala ito. Ito pala ay baby. Hindi pala pwede kasi bata, infant. Mababa ang immune system. Okay? And prevention, may bakuna kaya ito? Okay? Nabakunahan kaya ito? May iniinom kaya itong prophylaxis? Okay, those are for specified population. For example, for diarrhea outbreak, you are identifying the source. O, kanino ba nagsimula? Sino yung unang nagkaroon? Sino yung unang nagtae? Tapos, check mo, sino yung pangalawa nagkaroon? Anong relasyon nila? Kalaro pala nung bata ang nagkaroon na pangalawa. Okay? So, naghahawak-hawak kamay sila habang naglalaro. Eventually, okay, hindi naman hugas ng kamay, kumain. Yun pala yun. Okay? You identify the source, you check the risk group, and the control strategy. Okay, hygiene, hand hygiene ang importante. Okay? So, yan. Application. For the application, translate into findings into public health action. Okay. For example, nalaman mo 10 ang nagkakaroon ng dengue dito tuwing month of June. Okay. Sa kabilang barangay 20, sa kabilang barangay 30. So anong gagawin natin? Okay? You utilize your information or data into action. You apply it. Okay, in both scientific rigor and judgment. So, kailangan ba natin ng action? Kasi ang daming taong nagkakasakit ng ganito dito sa lugar na to. Okay? For example, in COVID-19 contact tracing and vaccination campaign, relied heavily on epidemiologic tools. Sino ba kailangan nating unahin? Anong lugar ba yung kailangan na mas madaming bakuna? Okay? Anong lugar yung mas kailangan na mas maraming treatment? Saan dapat tayo mag-focus? Kaninong group dapat? Kaninong age dapat? Yan yung mga ginawa natin nung COVID-19. O kaya nauna yung mga matatanda, yung mga healthcare workers. Okay, yun ang mga inuna kasi sila yung vulnerable. Okay, highly exposed. Yung mga ganyan. So you apply what you interpret and study in the epidemiology. So next, we do have uses of epidemiology. So you assess epidemiology, okay, assessing the community's health, making individual decisions, completing the clinical picture, searching for causes. Okay, searching for causes. So in assessing the community's health, okay, helps the public officials, okay, to identify current and potential health problems. Okay, determine affected populations, geographic areas, and even trends. And i-evaluate access, effectiveness, and equity of health services. So ano meron dyan? So if you are a public health practitioner, you should identify current problems or future problems or potential health problems. Ano bang meron? Ano bang possible na mag-occur na sakit? And sino yung maapektuhan? Okay, sino yung maapektuhan? Okay, saan ang usually affected? At ilan yung mangyayaring cases na ganito kung hindi natin gagawan ng paraan? Okay? So you evaluate what? Access. Access to what? Healthcare setting. Okay? Sa gamot, sa check-up, sa education, sa health education. Okay? Effectiveness. You check. Tama ba yung program na ginawa natin? Yung ginagamit nating strategy? Tama ba? Effective ba siya? And equity of health service. Nadidistribute ba natin ng tama? Okay? Lahat ba nagkakaroon? Lahat ba ay meron? Okay? Equal ba ang distribution natin for those healthcare services that we need to provide in order for us to prevent this kind of disease? So, yung mga yan. Okay? And it is also used to set national goals. So, for example, healthy people by 2010, 2020. Yan, no? Ano nang goal natin ngayon? So, we do have the SDGs. Okay? The Sustainable Development Goals. So, SDG pala. SDG. So, we do have now the SDG. Okay? Social Development Goal. Okay? Yan na yung meron tayo ngayon. No? Check natin kung nakaka-comply ba tayo dyan. Okay, madami yung factors. And monitor public health program outcomes. So ano yun? You always check. Okay ba? Nag-mass vaccination tayo. Namigay tayo ng madaming gamot. Namigay tayo ng mga bakuna. Ilan yung nagkaroon ng ganitong sakit para dun sa bakuna na yun? Ay, 0. That's a good one. Effective yung ginawa mong pamimigay ng bakuna. For leptospirosis ngayon, usong-uso si doxycycline. Ang dami namimigay sa barangay health center basta na nababad ka sa baha. Effective kasi wala nagkaroon ng lepto. Hindi nagkaroon ng lepto sa lugar na to. Ayun. That's how you monitor. Okay? Making individual decisions. So, epidemiologic data influence personal health behavior by how? For example, in smoking cessation, so we are checking for lung cancer risk. Included na ang smoking. So kung gaano kakatagal na nagyoyosi, gaano kakatagal na nag-i-smoke, ay related po yan sa pagkakaroon ng lung cancer. So for example, 10 years ka na nag-i-smoke, ay for 10 years pala nag-i-smoke, mataas yung chance na magkaroon ka ng lung cancer. Okay? Pag 10 years na mo nang in-stop, mas mababa na yung lung cancer risk. Yung mga yan, okay? Next, healthier diets. Okay, for cardiovascular protection. Ngayon, uso yung mga running na yan, no? Mga pack meals or mga prep, okay, mga prepared meals, yung mga yan. Kasi nga, we are dealing for healthy lifestyle. No? Mas mababa yung risk mo for high blood. Mas mababa yung sakit mo sa puso. Magkaroon ka ng sakit sa puso. Okay, next. So, condom use for HIV/AIDS prevention. Not only that, no? Madaming STI yan na pe-prevent ang condom. You have your gonorrhea, your chlamydia, your syphilis. Okay? So, yung mga yan, nape-prevent ng condom use. Okay? So, you are using your epidemiologic data on individual decision making. So, for example of examples of impact. So, in 1950s, smoking is already linked to lung cancer. In 1970s, okay, diet and exercise linked to heart health or decreasing heart-related problems. In 1980s, risk behavior linked to HIV spread by how? Unprotected sex. Yung mga ganyang practices. Okay? So, during that time, kaya nga nag-i-increase yung mga commercial natin na healthier habits, okay, mga ads. Okay, ngayon, wala na masyadong commercial sa TV ng health More on ads na tayo, no? Mga publications sa Facebook, sa Twitter, and any social medias that already being utilized on health promotion. Yan. So, para for example, ikaw nabasa mo, you are doing that, kain ka ng kain na matatamis, kain ka ng kain ng carbs. So, nabasa mo siya na, okay, mas okay pala na ganito lang ang calorie count ko for one day. O kaya naman, you are a smoker. Okay, ganito pala, dapat pala i-lessen ko kasi possible na magkaroon ako ng lung cancer. O kaya naman, I am sexually active, I'm having multiple partners. Dapat pala nagko-condom ako kasi mataas yung chance ko magkaroon ng STI or sexually transmitted infection. So, yung mga ganyan. Okay? Next, completing the clinical picture. So, in the complements physicians' diagnostic works. By how? So, kaya kayo tinatanong ng mga doktor. Okay? Bakit ba't kayo nagpunta doon? O kailan nagsimula yung sakit? Sinong kasama mo? Ganito, ganyan. Okay? Anong sakit sa pamilya? Anong meron? O, yan. Kaya clarifies the natural history, symptoms, and progression of disease. Okay? O, sa pamilya ba, ilan ang merong high blood? For example, in the high blood, no? Sa pamilya, ilan ang nagkaroon ng high blood? Nanay, tatay ko po may high blood. O, tapos anong healthy habits mo? Kain po ako ng kain ng carbs. Okay? Medyo sumasakit po lagi yung batok ko everyday. Ayan. Chine-check natin yan. So, okay. So, in epidemiology, okay, it is being used also by physicians. On how? Yan. Checking of history. Ilan ba sa pamilya ang meron? Lahat ng kapatid ko meron po. Yan. Ganun. Okay? Symptoms. Yan. And progression of disease. Sino-sino na yung meron. So, for example, eosinophilia myaglia syndrome in 1989. Okay? SARS coronavirus characterization in 2002. So, yung SARS nung 2002, then yung MERS nung 2009. That's nung 2019, we do have the COVID. Okay? Those are all variation or mutation of your SARS or your respiratory syndrome, okay? And then long-term effects of cigarette smoking. Yan. Ilang taong ka na ba nag-yosi? Baka yung pag-yosi mo nakarelate din sa pagkakaroon mo ng high blood. Okay? Kasi your smoking can decrease the dilation of your blood vessels. Yan, mga ganyan. Okay, so you are completing the clinical picture. Kinukompleto mo kung ano yung mga detalyeng kailangan at kulang. Next, searching for a cause. Okay, identify potential causal factors. For example, behavior, environmental, biological. Okay, for behavior, ito pala yung healthy habits mo. Ito pala yung hobbies mo. Okay, o kain ka lang palang kain, stress eating ka lagi araw-araw. Okay, o environmental, ay nakatira ka malapit sa ilog o kaya sa malapit sa estero. Biological, o may kasama kang aso at pusa. So possible na mga risk factors yan, or possible na affect yan sa health mo. Okay, influential examples. In 1854, so John Snow's Broad Street cholera pump handle removal, kasi nga yung pump dati o yung pang poso dati in those periods of time ay naging source of cholera kasi yung water source ay pangit, so tinanggal nila kasi nakalaman nilang dito pala nagmumula yung cholera, lahat ng tao dun kumukuha ng inumin. Okay, in 1999 rotavirus vaccine withdraw. Bakit? Kasi pala yung vaccine mismo ang nagkukos ng infection. Okay? Kasi hindi pala tama yung process ng production ng vaccine. Okay? In 1976, Legionnaire's disease trace after delayed bacterial identification. Kaya pala hindi natin ma-identify yung sakit mo kasi masyado pang maaga mag-check. Kasi pala dapat sine-check natin after 7 days, after 28 days. Yun pala. So you check for we will check on how you get the disease, or we search for the cause. Okay? Saan ba nagmula? Next, core epidemiologic functions. Okay, we do have public health surveillance, field investigation, analytic studies, evaluation, linkage, and policy development. So first is public health surveillance. So definition, this is a continuous systematic collection, analysis, interpretation, and dissemination of health data. So this is also same with we are discussing earlier na surveillance. Okay, so anong purpose nito? It detects trends, okay, guide responses, and evaluate control effort. So sabi nga natin, we collect data, we analyze and interpret for us to predict. Okay, we predict the trends. Okay, pataas ba yung cases natin, pababa ba, okay ba yung intervention natin? Okay, pababa na yung cases natin, pwede na tayong maglaylo ng bigay ng gamot. Okay, at pataas ang cases natin, so damihan pa natin yung gamot na pinapamigay natin, maglagay pa tayo sa ganitong area, maglagay tayo ng station na ganito. Okay, so yan ang purpose ng public health surveillance. Okay, sources, morbidity, mortality reports. Kaya meron tayong mga morbidity, mortality reports. So depende yan. We do have the weekly, monthly, daily reports. Okay, disease registry such as your PIDSR, PIDSR. This is known as your Philippine Integrated Disease Surveillance and Response. So ito yung usually ginagamit natin, okay, for epidemiological investigation, especially for notifiable diseases. So ano yung mga example ng notifiable diseases? So we do have measles, COVID-19, yan, kasama yan sa COVID-19. Yung mga vaccine preventable diseases natin, okay, ano pa, other pandemic related diseases, mga polio, yung mga yan, kasama yan, okay? Then ano pa, immunization and behavioral health data. So kasama sa nire-report natin ay ilan ba nabakunahan, sino-sino ang nabakunahan, okay? Anong practice dito sa lugar na to? Madami ba ditong naghuhugas ng kamay? Maganda ba ang source of water dito sa lugar na to? May toilet kaya yung mga tao dito? Okay, so kasama yan sa nire-report natin. Okay? So this is an example of how public health surveillance works. Okay? So for example, we usually need to be, again, we need to have training, communication, resource provision, and supervision. So that is our support activity. And that will be utilized in order for our public health surveillance and public health action to be effective. Okay? So ito yung ginagamit natin para itong dalawa na ito ay maging effective. Bakit? Para saan ba natin ginagamit sa public health surveillance? We are doing that for our feedback, analysis, okay, confirmation, reporting, registration, and detection ng ng ating mga sakit. So public health action. So after mo ma-survey, after mo makuha yung data, ma-interpret mo, gagawan mo ngayon ng action. So anong gagawin natin? Okay, may epidemic tayong nangyayari. So we put action. Okay? Pagpaplanuhan natin kung ano yung gagawin natin. Okay? So that's how we do the planning here in the Philippines for infectious diseases or reportable diseases. Next, this is how we do it in LGUs or yung mga reporting units natin, no? In provinces, in municipalities, yan. Okay? So, from the health center, from the community, going to the municipality, going to the regional, and so on and so forth, hanggang sa mabigyan natin ng action. Okay. Next is public health surveillance. So this includes both communicable and non-communicable diseases. Okay? So lahat, infectious, so TB, pneumonia, COVID-19, polio, lahat yan, measles, rubella, and non-communicable diseases, mga heart conditions, okay, chronic kidney disease, kasama yan. So, in post 9/11, okay, includes syndromic surveillance such as ER visits, over-the-counter medicine sales, and absenteeism. So, yan yung chine-check dati. But here in the Philippines, we do have now the law. So, RA 11332, or the mandatory reporting of your notifiable diseases and events of public health of concern. So, for example, nalaman mo na may COVID-19 yung kapitbahay mo pero hindi nila pinapaalam, ikaw pwede mong i-report. Or for example, sa medtech, we do have testings, okay, for Hep B, HIV, a lot of tests that can detect diseases. So we are reporting that. Okay, may pinagre-reportan po tayo ng mga ganyang bagay. At yun yung nandun sa chart kanina. Okay, and how we will report, kanino natin i-report. Okay, role of WHO and CDC in monitoring disease occurrence. So, for the WHO, they tracks endemic and epidemic diseases worldwide. So, sila nagsasabi kung meron na ba tayong pandemic, endemic ba itong sakit na to sa lugar na to o common lang siya doon, dito lang siya nakikita, epidemic na ba siya, meron na ba tayong outbreak, yan. Coordinates international response and vaccination strategy. So, sila yung usually nagbababa ng guidelines, sino dapat ang bakunahan, ano dapat bakuna ang gamitin, kailan yung interval. Okay, so good example is for malaria control and yung COVID-19. Then for CDC, okay, they monitor the diseases in the US. And usually, this is our basis for planning and utilizing guidelines or provision of guidelines. Okay? They provide technical expertise during outbreak. So, sila yung usually nagbibigay ng information kay WHO on how to tackle this kind of disease, on what guidelines should be implemented, okay, and so on and so forth. And offers evidence-based prevention guidelines. So, yeah, no? They are parang sila yung worldwide na epidemiology sa CDC. Okay? Next, field investigation. So, triggered by unusual report or outbreak. So, yan yung usually ginagawa natin sa field. Okay? We are checking anong community yung meron, anong community yung kailangan ng ganito. So, activities may include contact tracing, notifiable diseases, yung mga sexually transmitted infection natin. Identifying vehicles of infection, yung mga, for example, yung mga vector-borne diseases natin. For example, here is E. coli in beef or fruit juice. Yung mga dengue natin in mosquitoes and others. Okay? Recalling contaminated products to prevent spread. So for example, ano ba yung na-recall na pagkain nung nakaraan? Parang matagal na to na-recall yung isang brand ng sardines kasi nagkaroon ng spoilage doon sa batch ng sardines na yon. So yung mga ganyan. So we are utilizing that also for action. Analytic studies, so used when surveillance and field data alone are insufficient. So kulang. So they requires valid comparison group to test hypothesis. Ano meron dito? Nagkalagay tayo ng control group. Okay? So we have types of this analytic studies. So we do have experimental studies. So the investigator controls exposure. So for example, we do this usually in clinical trials, no? So sa vaccine trials, meron tayong binibigyan ng bakuna at wala. So sino yung mas effective? Mas effective ba yung bakuna or same lang sila na kahit walang bakuna, nagkakaroon pa rin ng sakit or hindi nagkakaroon ng sakit? Okay? Community trial. So mga lifestyle intervention natin. Okay, dito sa group na to, ang kakainin lang nila gulay. Sa group na to, kanin lang, puro kanin. Ang kakainin naman itong group na to, puro meat lang. Check natin sino yung mas mataas yung blood pressure. So yung mga ganyan. That's experimental. Meron kang control. Okay. Observational study. So the investigators observe exposure status. So anong ginagawa mo dito? Usually just observe. Okay? For example, cohort study. So prospective, follows expose and expose over time. So chine-check mo lang sino yung nagkaroon nung sakit at hindi nagkaroon ng sakit in a period of time. Pag retrospective naman, you are checking yung mga past na na-expose or hindi na-expose o nagkaroon ng sakit. So pag prospective, kung ano lang yung current data. Pag retrospective, kasama yung past data. Pag case control study, so compares past exposures in disease cases and non-disease cases. So pag case control naman, usually we are checking lang yung mga factors. So for example, hepatitis A traced to green onion. So dati nirelate nila ang pagkain ng green onion sa hepatitis A kasi nakukuha daw yun doon. Okay? So that's a case control studies. Okay, ano pang example niyan? For example, si COVID-19 nakukuha daw dati sa deliveries, mga nagde-deliver. Yan. Okay, next, cross-sectional studies. Measures both exposure and outcomes at a single point in time. So, meron ka lang specific time. This is best for prevalence data and not causality. So, ito ay dapat ginagamit lang for current data. Hindi siya effective for other types of our data. So, pag cross-sectional, sino lang yung na-expose, ano lang yung naging outcome niya. For example, buhay pa ba siya? Namatay ba siya? Okay, bakit siya nabuhay? Bakit siya namatay? Anong ginawa niya? Yung mga ganun lang. Okay, so that's cross-sectional studies. And evaluation. Assesses relevance, effectiveness, efficiency, and impact of public health programs. So, we evaluate our programs or our interventions. Effective ba siya? Relevant ba siya? Kailangan ba talaga siya? Efficient ba siya? Ayan. Okay? So, types, we do have formative. So, pag sinabi natin formative, this is the planning stage. Planning pa lang, puro plano. Puro drawing. Okay? Dinodrawing mo pa lang. Nabigyan mo pa lang ng plan. Pag process, you implement yung plan mo. Okay, plan natin na pababain yung cases ng heart condition kay barangay A. Paano natin gagawin yun? Okay, mag-zumba tayo araw-araw. Yan yung plan natin. O sa process, ginagawa mo na yung Zumba araw-araw. Every 7 a.m., tinatawag yung mga na screened na obese or na mga tao na gusto sumali sa Zumba. Outcome o result ay okay, improvement. May improvement tayo, mas mababa na yung heart-related cases natin. Okay? Yan. So you check all of those sa outcome. Okay, for example, evaluating an immunization campaign or surveillance system. O for example, ulit, yung vaccination. Effective ba yung vaccination natin? Mas kumonti na ba yung naaapektuhan nung sakit na to? Yan. Linkages. Okay? For the linkages, okay, field epidemiology is team-based effort. That's why it includes collaboration with laboratories, clinicians, IT specialists, and other disciplines. Often, it involves multi-jurisdictional investigation and requires ongoing networking and partnership development. Kaya nga usually, pagka epidemiology, we do have linkages kay DOH, kay LGU, kay non-governmental organization, mga NGOs, and others. Okay? So, this is multi-jurisdictional investigation, no? For example, sa mga private hospital, kasama sila. Kasama yung mga clinics, okay? Hindi lang basta sa isang lugar. Lahatan. Policy development. Epidemiologic evidence informs public health regulation, public health advisories, disease control strategies. For example, reportable disease list, vaccination mandate, tobacco control. So, this was one of my studies previously na I evaluated the response of the community. And one of the recommendation in my study was to develop again or to revise their policy kasi on that policy hindi effective yung ginagawa nila or current practice for the disease surveillance. So kulang, ibig sabihin. So kailangan i-improve. So we use epidemiology on that one. Kaya ba tumataas yung cases ng sakit natin? Kasi hindi enough pala yung binibigyan natin ng bakuna. So, we improve. Okay? And descriptive versus analytic epidemiology. So, for descriptive epidemiology, okay, the goal is to describe the occurrence of disease. Okay? And it focuses on the person, place, and time with the 5 W's. What is the disease? Who is affected individual or people, where or the location, when, what is the period of time, okay, and why and how, causes and risk factors. So in descriptive epidemiology, lahat ito ay dinidescribe mo, ninonote mo lahat yan, and it evaluates frequency and patterns of health events. What about analytic? For analytic naman, the goal is to test the hypothesis and determine the causation. So for example, it uses valid comparison groups and statistical analysis. So dito naman sa analytic epidemiology, they usually utilize experimentation. Meron tayong control group. So the study types yan, experimentation, observational, such as your cohort and case control, including cross-sectional. So concepts in disease occurrence in epidemiology. So we do have the non-random distribution of disease and causation. So the epidemiologic triad. So for the non-random, okay, distribution of disease, the disease and other health events do not occur randomly within a population. So risk factors such as biological, environmental, behavioral, etc. are unevenly distributed, making some groups more vulnerable. Kaya nga non-random no? Hindi siya basta-basta lang nagkaroon ng sakit. Okay? Meron niyang factor bakit siya nagkasakit. Yun ang pinuprove nito. May isang kailangan para ikaw ay magkaroon ng sakit na ito. And the epidemiology aims to, okay, identify who is at risk, why they are at risk, and how intervention can be designed. Okay? Sino ba yung pwede magkaroon ng sakit nito? Bakit sila yung pwede magkaroon ng sakit na to? At ano yung pwede nilang gawin para maiwasan yung sakit na to? So ano yung mga yan? That's for the non-random distribution. Who are at risk? So, for example, ang at risk ay mga healthcare workers. Bakit sila at risk? Kasi exposed sila sa blood products and sa needle prick. Ayan. Paano nila maiwasan to? Okay? For using your PPEs. So, mga ganun. Okay? For the causation, epidemiologic triad or the triangle. So, we do have 3 components. First is the agent, second is the host, and the third is the environment. So for the agent, this is usually the cause of the disease. So for example, usually they are bacteria, viruses, and toxins. For the host, this is the individual, which is susceptible for the agent. And the environment is the external condition that allows or promote disease transmission. So what are the examples of these factors? So for example, agent, so infectivity, pathogenicity, virulence, and dose. Okay? Sa infectivity, gaano ba siya katindi mag-infect? Okay? Pathogenicity, gaano ba siya kalakas mag-cause ng sakit? Virulence, gaano ba siya kabilis spread or mag-cause ng sakit? And the dose, gaano kadami yung kailangan para mag-cause siya ng sakit. Okay? For the host, age, no? Ilan taon ba siya? Genetics, may sakit ba siyang kakaiba? Okay, immunity, may bakuna ba to? Wala. Nutrition, malnutrition ba? Overnutrition ba? Behavior, mahilig ba tong kumain ng ganitong pagkain? Mahilig ba tong maligo? Maganda ba ang hand hygiene nito? Okay. Next, environment. So, climate, crowding, sanitation, healthcare access. So, yung mga yan can cause, okay, diseases. Okay? So, sa climate, change. So, may flooding ba? Crowding sa mga health centers, sa mga evacuation centers. Okay? So, this is the epidemiologic triad. So, sa agent, so dapat daw balance. Okay? Balance si agent at si environment in order for the host to be healthy. So, pag dumami yung agent, nakaka-affect yun kay host always. Pagka gumalaw yung factors for the environment, makaka-affect yun kay host. Okay? Pag gumalaw yung host status, makaka-affect yung agent at environment. So, kaya sila triangle kasi they are interconnected. So, we do have levels of disease occurrence, sporadic, endemic, hyperendemic, holoendemic, epidemic, and pandemic. So, for sporadic, disease occurs irregular and infrequent. So, hindi natin alam yung trend. Kailan magkakaroon at saan magkakaroon. So, that's sporadic. Okay? Cannot be predicted. Pag endemic, constant present of disease in a population group or region. Meaning, sa lugar na to, common na nangyayari yan. Laging merong ganyan. Okay? Kaya nga siya endemic na tinatawag. Common dun sa lugar na yon. Hyperendemic, high constant. So, same lang nga endemic, pero mas mataas yung higher chance. So, for example, in Palawan, you have higher chance of having malaria. Kasi, the malaria is endemic. So, in the Philippines, malaria is endemic, but it is hyper-endemic in Palawan. Okay? So, ganon. Holoendemic, high disease prevalence in children, lower in adults. So, for example, meron siyang specific. So, for example, measles. So, common siya sa mga bata. Okay? That's a holoendemic. Pag epidemic, sudden increase of cases above expected levels in defined area. So, for example, biglaan, for example, ngayon, biglaan dadami ang cases ng lepto. Yan, yung mga ganyang cases. O nung nakaraan, biglang dumami yung cases ng dengue. Ganon. That's epidemic. So, for example, dapat ang number of cases lang usually per month ay 5. Pero naging 200. Oh, that's the threshold. 5 lang, pero 200. So, we can declare already an epidemic or an outbreak. Then, ang pandemic, usually epidemic that spreads globally. So, commonly known is our COVID-19. Okay? O, meron pa yan. MERS-CoV. Okay? Avian flu. Yung mga yan. Yung common pandemic natin. SARS nung 2002. MERS nung 2009. Okay? And these are the major examples of our pandemic. So, the Black Death, okay, influenza, okay, HIV, yan. COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2. Okay? And their description kung kailan sila na-declare, ilan yung usual na namatay sa kanila. Okay? Then we do have the bias, confounding, and errors in epidemiologic studies. So, in selection bias, this usually occurs when the participants included in the study are not representative of the target population. So, for example, you are doing a study. Ang dapat kasali lang is 10 years old and below. Pero biglang nagkaroon ng 11 kasi kulang. So that's a selection bias. Okay? Can lead to false association between exposure and outcome. So, syempre, mali na yung age mo, mali na yung number ng participant mo, it can always lead into false association. So, bigla mo in-associate na itong sakit na ito ay common sa mga 10 years old and below. Pero yung participants mo pala merong 11, 12, 13. So, hindi siya accurate. Next, information bias. Also called as misclassification bias. So, this results from inaccurate measurement of exposure or disease status. May stem from poor record keeping, recall errors, and inconsistent survey methods. So, ano naman meron dito? For example, ang target mo lang is June to July, pero may nasama kang August, may nasama kang May sa count. Okay? O kaya naman, na-late record nila sa June, hindi naman pala talaga siya nangyari noong June. Yan yung mga information bias. Next, confounding occurs when third variable distorts the true relationship between the exposure and the disease. So, for example, smoking is a confounder in disease of alcohol, studies of alcohol and lung cancer. Bakit? Kasi nga, 'di ba, risk factor natin si lung cancer, si smoking. So, common na nagkakaroon 'yon. Okay? That's a confounding. Kumbaga, nakakagulo siya sa result ng study mo kasi nga hindi naman talaga siya kino-consider or kasama. So, what are our strategies to minimize errors and biases? Of course, careful study design. So, we could utilize randomization and matching, validated measurement tools, clear inclusion and exclusion criteria, and statistical adjustments specifically for multivariate analysis. So, yan yung mga pwede natin gamitin on the research or study in order for us to prevent possible errors and biases. And these are my reference for this lecture.